It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. Please put in the chat where you're from and who you are. When we start reviewing the news articles, if you want to look at our Facebook page, just click here and you can follow the articles along as we go. See you in a moment. Good morning or good afternoon or wherever you are in the world. Ron Brown with Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. It is November the 10th. It's a cold, wintry morning in Comox, British Columbia, where I'm from, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But we have a great show for you today. We'll be together for about an hour, and thank you for coming. We're going to start by some introductions, and I'll introduce our panel today. We've assembled this panel all across Canada and the United States to answer your questions. So please put some questions in the chat. We'll be talking initially after our introductions. We'll be talking a little bit about cell phones and travel, and what type of plans you might have. And after that, we're going to get together and we're going to talk about news of the week. All the news, lots of news this week, lots of tech news, and we're going to talk about that. And before you know it, the hour will be gone and time will be up. It really goes pretty fast. So I want to thank you for coming. If you are out there, we do not know if we're just talking to ourselves, and we're the four of us are great friends, so we don't mind sitting and talking for the next hour and having some coffee. We'd probably do that anyway without the show, but we would like to know if you're out there and are listening, and if you are, if you wouldn't mind putting in the chat where you're from, maybe what the weather is. If you have any questions for us, please do so. You're wondering, who the heck are we? Well, we're sort of a gang of seniors that like to talk about tech. We have a show on Monday, and that's called Tech for Senior. And we're soon to be in our fourth year. It's gone. We started 3 years ago, and we've been doing a weekly broadcast now I think we're up to about just under 140 shows. So we'll soon be into our fourth year, and that's broadcast on a Monday, and that's actually a Zoom meeting, and we stream that out to YouTube. This, of course, is not a Zoom meeting, and it's streamed to YouTube and to our Facebook page. So if you're over on our Zoom meeting, and I see a few of you have already signed in to our regular Zoom meeting, we're not there. We'll see you on Monday. If you're trying to find out where to come, you can just go over to our Facebook page or our website, and I'll put that up for you. Our website is www.techforsenior.com, and I've put a couple of buttons there. You can just click on the button and it should take you to the right place. So we do. So that's sort of who we are. And of course, this does get recorded. So if you want to go and watch it again, all our shows are recorded, and we encourage you to use them for your educational purposes if you want, or whatever. And we also podcast this out, so it's available as a podcast. I think that's everything. If you want to follow along with all the news articles that we use today, you can certainly go to our Facebook page, and this is our Facebook page. I wonder how after today, and we'll talk about all the problems they're having. I wonder how long Facebook will even be going for. We'll have interesting. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Anyway, we're going to. So that's coming. So anyway, you can follow along there. So that's who we are. And today, our topic that we're going to talk about: do you plan on traveling outside your country of residence this year? And maybe what do you plan on doing for your mobile requirements? And that's one of the things we're going to talk about. But first off, I'd like to introduce our panel that we have today that we've um, assembled to answer your questions and talk about the news. And of course, the first person I'm going to introduce is the person because when you look at our little four squares that like squares that we're in, you might think we're all sitting in a studio together having coffee, but we're not. We're actually in different countries, and Huey, of course, who is the co-host with me on Monday, is in the middle of a hurricane in Florida. So, Huey, are you okay? Have you got your rubber boots on, or what's happening?
It's deja vu all over again. We got
Yeah.
another hurricane that hit the East Coast this time, but it's such a large storm that the entire state is. We've had pretty good winds, around 40 miles an hour here, and probably 2 to 3 inches of rain. And it should end up in the next few hours for us, but it's going to go back probably over the Gulf a little bit and then back up along the East Coast. So other people are going to get hit pretty good. And the original track was to take it all the way up to New England. So I don't know if it will or not, but lots of rain. It's wreaking havoc to the coastline that was devastated 4 weeks ago, and it's just making it worse. So
Just making it worse.
People live by the water. It comes with the territory.
Now, what everybody, of course, knows who Huey is, because, of course, Huey and I do a lot of teaching, and we do a lot of other things other than Tech for Senior. And Huey, you also have your WinSig coming up. Is it next Sunday?
Yep. The Windows Special Interest Group for the Central Florida Computer Society and the Sarasota Technology User Group. We've combined the program to a forum or a SIG for both clubs, and we have it on the second Sunday of the month, which is this Sunday.
Very good. So, and if you want, I've put the link up there. If you want to register, you can just go to huey.net, and there's the link to register, and you can attend it free of charge, right?
Absolutely.
There we go.
And
well,
I get paid from that free pay. That's how I get paid.
Yeah, right.
Gotten any raises lately?
They doubled the salary.
There you go. Now, speaking of, how will I introduce our next person? Let me think. Now, you left me a bit speechless. I want to make sure that I get this right. He's a man, of course, of many talents. He is a security expert and usually talks about security, and that's what everybody sort of associates him with. And he's a tough guy because he used to be a boxer and he's bloodied a lot of noses. So don't get on his bad side. But on the other side, you'll find a really nice person and a man who's a prolific maker of videos. And he talks on all sorts of subjects, Windows, all sorts of different topics. And but he is so excited because he lives in Los Lunas, New Mexico. Now, I don't want to tell you where Los Lunas is, but it's out in the sticks. And Bob is so excited because there's a big tower being built up right next to his house. And he is going to have this great, big, huge tower. And he's going to be in the modern communication sort of milieu that we all have, because you're entering the new era, right, Bob?
Well, the tower is up. Problem is, the tower is just like having a big tree next to you. It don't do a thing till it gets hooked up, and it needs electricity to get hooked up. So we're waiting for our electric company to actually connect, and then maybe we'll finally wind up having decent service out here.
Right. Well, it's the interesting thing, though, really is that for rural customers, this is really going to provide high-speed internet for rural people through a cellular connection, right? That's the way to go.
It is a 5G tower. It's 80 feet tall. It's the tallest thing out here in Meadow Lake.
There you go. There you go. Well, welcome, Bob, and thank you for coming. Bob had a bit of a trouble with some laryngitis this week, but I'm glad that you have your voice back.
Yeah, well, I have a presentation to do for APCUG this Saturday. I
Yeah,
better have a voice back.
there you go. There you go. Speaking of APCUG, that is the Association of Personal Computer User Group. Now, I bet you that outside the four of us, there's not many people that knows what APCUG is, but I know that because we have the president of APCUG here. And that, of course, would be our longtime friend, Mr. Ray Baxter from Pine, Arizona. Now, Ray's feeling a bit stressed out lately because all the snowbirds are flocking down there from the north because they want to get away from the south, from the north and all the cold weather. So he's hiding out in the mountains there in Pine, Arizona. He doesn't want to go down to that crazy Mesa, Phoenix area where all those people are congregating, and they'll be there for the winter. So he's sort of in Pine, Arizona, up in the mountains, right, Ray?
Well, I was down in Mesa, actually, on Dobson Road last Saturday.
Really? Yeah,
Went
yeah.
down there for group of us meet. It's called the Romeo Club. Romeo standing for Retired Old Men Eating Out.
Good for you.
And
I got to write that down. We got to have a Romeo Club here.
yeah, and it is nationwide. There are lots of Romeo clubs. So
Oh,
this is
really?
one, yeah. Look, I don't think it's organized to the point where there's any kind of officials, but definitely Romeo clubs in various communities around the country are there. And it's a bunch of guys with like-minded interests. We sit around, we have lunch, and we chat and catch up on things.
We have one in our community. We don't call it Romeo. We just call it the men's luncheon. But we go to various restaurants in the area once a month and have a few toddies and just chat.
Yep. We chat and play music.
Well, there you go.
It was good.
There you go. Yeah. I should mention, of course, that Ray is our music specialist and our music director on our Monday show. And he provides us with a lot of great music, and he's into rock and roll, which is great. Lots of good tunes. So we have a very popular following on our Monday show. Ray, thank you so much for all you do and the work you do for APCUG as well. I know you work very hard for that.
And this is the busiest time of the year for me because now I also have my treasurer's hat on with all the renewals coming in.
That's right. There you go. Do we have anybody listening, Huey?
Yeah, we sure do.
Really? Got more comments? We got lots of comments?
First one in today was Geeks on Tour.
Oh, they're back from Mexico. It was Chris's birthday or anniversary. I think it was birthday, and Jim took her to Mexico. So we talked to them a couple of days in Mexico. Hi from Charlotte, North Carolina, waiting for the plane to take us home so they're on their way home to Southeast Florida. That may be a wait with this hurricane, eh?
Yep.
Maureen Glenn, good morning from Victoria, BC. Overcast this morning, indeed. Geek Wireless, good afternoon. Troy, Michigan, 71 degrees and sunny. Good for you. Nice weather there. Dick is Vogel, 72 degrees, windy, cloud, showers, Sanford, Florida. Is that close to you guys, or?
It's just north of Orlando.
Oh, okay. All right. Liz is from Ohio, sunny and 65. Bernard DeFazio, Sterling Heights Computer Club, Detroit, Michigan. Olive, hi from sunny and cold Willamette Valley of Oregon. Richard Clarkson in now 49 degrees, sunny, will go up to 69. He's of course in California. And Gene Lingenfelter, an old Mesa friend of mine, 61 degrees in Pennsylvania. JJ Johnson, 69 degrees in Waukegan, Illinois.
Waukegan.
Richard says, and Monrovia, not Canada, right? Monrovia, California. Gerald, hi from Louisiana. How about a segment on coffee pots? Can someone comment on a programmable mouse? All right. Segment on coffee. I love to do coffee. We had a whole talk on coffee. I'm sort of an amateur barista. I love coffee. We can certainly talk on coffee. Comment on programmable. All right, we'll do that. Remind you guys, remember that. Okay, let's keep going. Cool 38. Sally says from Kirkland, Washington, cool 38 degrees. Expect a high of 46. Not traveling outside the U.S. this year. Dick says Huey's Winzig begins at 1 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, that's because Greek Wireless asked.
What time Sunday? Okay.
And that is Eastern time.
Eastern, yeah. Geeks on Tour. So far this year, we've been to El Salvador, United Arab Emirates, Maldives, Italy, Turkey, Mexico, and multiple states in the U.S. Google Fi works great nearly everywhere. True story, yes. Yes. Is Bob's Tower link for pictures ready yet? Yes, he does. He's got the link.
You'll get it on Monday.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to share here.
All right. Betty says, hi, this is Betty from Clearwater. Nicole is just passing just north of my house. Center is about 20 miles north. Still have power. Stay safe, Betty.
Yep, and I still have power as well.
Joan, good morning from Victoria, BC. Kathleen from New York. Yesterday in New York, it was 42. As I was about to leave, I thought, that's only 8 degrees from a mild 50. Outside, it was cold. It belatedly occurred to me that 42 is 10 degrees from freezing. Well, I guess it's the way you look at things, right? Is it which way? I guess it's a good point.
Well, when it's 68 here, I'm cold. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So welcome, Kathleen. Oh, Vale Williams. Yes, Vale is my buddy from Silveridge Resort. Vale and I spent 10 years fixing computers at the computer club. Mesa has Romeo, which I attended. Hey, Vale, I got something to talk to you about in the show today. We'll need your opinion, so make sure you stick around. Irving says, greetings from Ottawa, sunny and cool. Mike Lehman, 12 degrees cloudy in Moncton, New Brunswick. We really have a great crowd across Canada and the United States, eh? Richard, great shows. Thank you. Can you talk about Mac Mini something?
Sometime.
The article, it's coming up. I wanted Vale to be there.
You're locking up a little bit.
With it.
Yeah.
Okay. Geeks on Tour, easy to share screen on StreamYard, Bob. All right. Well, that's pretty cool. All right. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. All right. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today is anyone here planning on traveling? We talked a little bit about this on our Monday show, and I wanted to sort of follow up with this because with, of course, COVID and the restrictions being eased, everyone is traveling on cruises, going to Mexico. Jim and Chris are man, they've just gone crazy this last year. And they're doing a lot of traveling. And they found that, of course, that, they looked at different options when they traveled. Now, one of the things that we always talked about when we traveled was buying local SIM cards in the area that you're in. And when you travel throughout Europe, you can pick them up at the airport as you're walking down the street, there's vendors. Australia, when I was there, my daughter lives in Australia. The data, the cards that have data on them are so cheap. And we used to recommend putting those in your phone. But Bob, what are we doing now? Because we have two-factor. What's this two-factor authentication thing?
Two-factor means you can't just sign in with your username and password. Because when you do that, then they send you
A text
A
message,
text message, usually to your cell phone,
right?
with a code, and until you enter the code, no access to the account.
So if it goes to the wrong, because of course SIM cards have their own phone number, right? So
That's
if you
right.
change your
Yep.
SIM card and you got a different phone number, that code is going to go to another phone number, right?
Well, it means you're SOL.
Well, particularly if you're standing in the airport in Europe and you need to access your bank account because you need some money, right? So I
It'd be
guess,
fun.
yeah. Ray, have you done any traveling? Have you been out?
Yeah, I've been to France when I worked for a French bank. They sent me over there for a conference that was held in a castle, not so shabby. And then in Italy, I took a 2-week tour there. But this was before cell phones. This
Oh,
was when I was working full time.
right.
As I've gotten older at this point, particularly with everything going on with wars in Europe, with COVID, I like staying in the good old USA.
Yeah, and you got any thoughts on this? We talked a bit about it on the on. Oh, you weren't there on Monday. You
I
didn't.
wasn't there on Monday,
Yeah,
but
you weren't there. Yeah.
I'm not traveling at all these days. I think the farthest I've traveled in about 3 years was Orlando, which is about 100, 120 miles away. And most months I don't go farther than about 50 miles. So I have no desire to leave Florida. It's paradise. So I just and I just heard on the news this week that we're getting 850 new residents in Florida a day.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Multiply it over 365, and that is a big number.
Yep.
It is. It is.
I use Magic Jack for my home phone number. And the last time that I went to Prague in the Czech Republic, well, I have the Magic Jack app on my cell phone, and I just used it. And it's like being home all the time because all I need is Wi-Fi and I can make phone calls. I don't have to worry about SIM cards or anything else. Magic Jack leaves me at home.
Yep, that's a good, certainly.
Yeah,
good
and when people call my home phone number, no matter where I am in the world, as long as I have Wi-Fi, it will ring on the Magic Jack app on my phone. So people think I'm still at home. I'm nowhere near home, but perception means a lot, especially when you're traveling.
Yeah,
and you don't want folks to know that you're not at home.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before. I have a Google Voice number that I use for my home phone. And then I have a Magic Jack as well, and I call forward that to the Google Voice number. So I use both, but I have used the Google Voice, or not the Google Voice, the Magic Jack app on my Chromebook, and makes my Chromebook a phone.
Right. So that's certainly possible, but as my worry is that we as last year Google turned on two-factor authentication for everybody's Google account. It's as I don't know personally, most of the things that I go to do once I move my location or move from this computer I work at here, I get challenged and require, because I have two-factor authentication set up on all my accounts. So it ends up is I get challenged and I need that authentication number. Now, as Bob said, they're going to send us a text message, and it's going to come, of course, to if I've taken out the SIM card and put a new SIM card in, then it's got a different phone number and it's not going to go to the right place. And that's particularly a problem. And the reason I wanted to mention that today, Vail will understand this, because we used to see this all the time in Mesa when people came down and put in a consumer cellular SIM card, right? It's a different phone number, and now you have a problem. Now, there's a couple of things around that. Most of the cell phone companies now, and I talked a little bit about this, and I did a video about this on Monday, have add-on plans. In other words, it used to be expensive. If you were in Canada or northern states and you want to travel to Mexico, or you're Canada, you came down to the States, to get a US package was expensive. But those have come down dramatically in price now because people understand, that, and Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T all have very reasonable packages you can use if you're traveling. So you don't actually need to change your SIM card. You can just get an add-on plan for the time that you're away. If you're down in Mexico for a couple of weeks, just get an add-on plan. I think the takeaway message from this is you want to have a plan in place. Don't just head off to Mexico, go there for 2 weeks, take your cell phone and just use it and think this is great because it works. Hey, my phone works in Mexico. Well, of course, your phone's going to work anywhere in the world, right? But you need a plan, you need a strategy. Now, the other thing I don't know, and if any of our listeners have thought about this, but of course, the new iPhones only have eSIMs. So we don't actually have physical SIMs anymore, right? You don't have a little gate where you can put the SIM card in on your iPhones. It's all eSIMs. And I think I could be mistaken on this, but I think you can have up to 8 eSIMs on a iPhone. So I guess it would be possible. I've never seen this done, and I don't know if is that you could have 2 phone numbers associated with that phone, and you should be able, because you can have 2 eSIMs in there, and you could have your regular eSIM that you had from your local provider, and then of course one that you got in the country of origin that you're traveling to. And I think that might work. I've never done that, but that might. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. If any of the listeners out there have done that, that would be sort of cool.
We got a couple of comments, Ron, on the topic.
Many phones allow 2 SIMs. That's correct. That's right. And I think the new iPhone, because you can't fit physical SIMs, I think it can do 8 SIMs. Yeah, my OnePlus has space for 2 SIMs. That's right. Yep. I mean, you can often switch them. So something to think about. But don't just take off and travel and don't and not have a plan. I think that's the important thing. All right. Do you guys have any other Bob, Huey, Ray? Any comments on that? Any other comments out there, Huey, that we have that we should go over?
Well, let's see.
Can you have an alternate? Can you have an? Sorry, Geek Wireless says, Bob, can you have an alternate Magic Jack with suspending your home IP? I have an UMA and my home call forward to my mobile phone simultaneously.
You don't need a separate. It's not tied to your home IP at all. It's tied to Wi-Fi.
Right.
So I'll receive it any place I have Wi-Fi.
Right. And I would say the Magic Jack works the same as UMA. I've got Magic Jack as well, but I used
UMA is actually came much later than
that's right.
Magic Jack.
Right.
Magic Jack's been around forever.
Forever. True story. All right. Are you guys, Bob, can you have 2-factor codes sent to you by email? Still can be a problem unless you have access to 2 computers.
Why?
Some do have. Some will send an email, but most of them
depends on It depends on how you set it up.
Right.
You can also have it sent to both.
Right. So the answer, Geeks on Wireless, I'm not sure who the first name is that it depends on the service that's setting it up. Some give you the option of getting it by an email. The reason that it's not email is not preferred is because the assumption is if someone hacks into your account, then they likely would take over your control of your email. It is unlikely that they would, if you have it sent as an SMS text message to your phone, it's encrypted, and you would have, the idea is that you would have your phone with you. And so the text message comes as an encrypted message only to your phone. So it's not, so it's much more secure. But some services do offer Gmail as for your security, or an email. Say Pixel has 1 physical Geeks on Tour and 1 eSIM. All right, let's. Are you guys ready to do some work?
Yeah.
All right, let's get.
One other. I got one more here.
Olive Cousin, how many likes, thumbs up can we get during the show today? You can just keep pushing the buttons and give us lots of likes. Let's do our presentation. And let's see if I now remember if you want to watch along, you can. Oops, this is the this is the one that you can watch along with us, and that's our Facebook page. Let me see if I can just get this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. All right, and we'll take
You update?
I did not. Did you sneak one in there, Bob? You rascal, you. Ray's going to be really unhappy with you.
No,
You know?
You didn't sneak anything in. I just making sure that you're alert.
Oh, I did. I didn't see anything from you. I think
No,
Ray, you got the first one here.
Yep.
Is that yours?
Wow.
Yep.
What a surprise.
This is the first. Ray usually we don't even get to his articles because he puts them in the night before, and everyone's posted their articles. So this is a first for Ray. Congratulations.
I'm learning to play the game. All right. Amazon Music has added a whole bunch of songs. I'll tell you how many, but not everyone likes this new thing. So with Amazon Prime Music, anybody that has Amazon Prime has automatically had a streaming service from Amazon that had about 2 million songs. That sounds like a lot. And you could pick whatever song you wanted to hear. And as long as it was in that catalog, you got to hear it. So now they've changed it, and they are advertising. Now you don't have just 2 million, you have 100 million songs. I didn't think there were that many, but there's 100 million songs that's been in their main catalog that you pay for, Amazon Music Unlimited, and they've added that now to Amazon Prime Music. Here's the catch. You can request a specific artist or a specific song, and you probably won't get it. They use what's called shuffle mode in this change, and shuffle mode will change to what they think is appropriate. So you could ask for a song by a particular artist, as I said, and you may or may not get it. So this just reinforces what I've done all these years. Is every time I bought music on a CD, I've ripped it to my computer. I have it saved on various places, and I choose what I want to hear, not some bot. So a lot of negative so far on this change by Amazon.
Well, the other thing that's a big negative, Ray, after you told me this before, I went racing up to my devices and, of course, said, Miss A, play so-and-so and listen to the radio. I thought this is going to be great. The thing that I immediately noticed was advertisements. In other words, they've added a whole bunch of advertisements. So before a song, you're going to get, an ad, which was never the case before. So they've added ads now.
I think this is a plan to encourage. I'll use the word encourage people to go for the plan that you pay for. I think if you're a Prime member, it's $9 a month to get music unlimited. But
that's right.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah, you're going to find, if you try this, you're going to really find that there's a lot of commercials in there. Well, this is a blast from the past, Ray.
It is, I think. I didn't realize until I read this article that you can still get directory assistance by dialing 411 in certain parts on a landline in certain parts of the country. But come January 1, AT&T phone customers with digital landlines will no longer be able to get that kind of service or be able to dial 0 for operator. So the article goes on to say the internet has made all these jobs really irrelevant. Anyway, this was the most surprising fact. There are still 8.5 million landline customers for AT&T. I think the article is worth reading for a trip down memory lane.
Okay. All right. But they still don't have these people plugging in these cords.
No, I think they've come a little ways from that.
Come a little further than that.
But that's interesting. When you look at that, they think that's how phone systems used to work in their early days. Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Job my wife had many years ago.
Is this you as well?
Yeah. This is my third one. Will wonders never cease? Microsoft and Apple are playing nice together. And this is the iPhone integration into Windows 11. So that means that if you get this update from the Microsoft Store to the Windows Photo app, then Windows 11 will be able to help. Windows 11 users can then bring these photographs from their iPhone into their computer. So again, we have people and Microsoft playing nice. I think that's great.
They must have taken a happy pill or something, eh? All right. Well, that's interesting. And now did I post this or did you?
No, I did, I think.
Okay, I can't remember. This
Here
was
we
out-
did.
Yeah. Starlink is introducing a data cap starting in December of 1 terabyte. And after 1 terabyte, it will slow down during the prime times if it's busy. And but you can buy extra data at 25 cents a gigabyte. And then at the end of the month, it starts over again. So it's only a month-long thing.
Yeah, I got a feeling that more restrictions are going to come. What do you think, Huey? I mean, I just don't think this is going to be the unlimited, be all and end all.
No, I'm sure it isn't. They're trying to make money. At this point, they haven't made any money, and they're trying to limit the usage because more and more people are using it.
Right.
Now that they can send it to airplanes, you can put a dish on an RV and have it so you're wherever you are, it'll work. So they're doing a lot of things to get more usage, and so they've got to compensate for the fact that it's going to be used a lot.
And
giving it away for Ukraine.
Yeah.
We had the new 2023 RVs that are coming out. I was watching some reviews on them. Some of their coming as standard packages now. They come with the mobile Starlink built in.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it's all happening, and that's a big feature.
This was an article on the best Chromebooks for business. In other words, some of the more advanced Chromebooks that are out there that students have certain uses and they don't need a lot of oomph, but some of the businesses might. And this talks about some of the better Chromebooks.
One of the things that we should just remind everyone, Huey and I do, and we've done this now for 2 years, we do a monthly show called Learning Chromebooks. We're not actually doing it this month because of it falls on Thanksgiving, but we do that, and you can register at our website. It's free, and it's a 1-hour course we do once a month, and called Learning Chromebooks, right, Huey?
Yep, and I posted some new Chromebook articles on our Facebook Learning Chromebook page as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now I'm not sure that this is the same. This is the same article. I think
same article. Yeah.
I think I posted that. AirTags. Who doesn't have an AirTag, right? Who doesn't have an Apple phone? Who doesn't have an AirTag? Well, Eufy has brought out AirTags now, or a similarity, and I went to their website and they're sold out and won't have them for another 3 months. So they were sold out immediately, but a lot cheaper than the Apple AirTags. So there are some other alternatives coming out, and I thought that was interesting. Bob, did you see that article about Eufy?
I don't use AirTags.
Right. Anyway, that's for those of you who don't know, these are clips you can clip on devices, and then it helps you locate them.
If you have dementia, you could put one in your pocket.
Yeah, and find yourself.
Can find you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yes, and of course, now the big story of the week. The big story of the week is, of course, Twitter. And I'm sure that whether you tweet or you don't tweet, or whether you're interested in Twitter or not, it just does, but it is a big deal. And this was a very interesting article from one of the engineers that worked. Of course, Elon Musk fired half the people at Twitter. And he said that within a couple of weeks, things are going to break significantly there and the cookie is going to start to crumble. The interesting thing about this article, and if you are interested in this topic, is to read how Twitter was built and the software that they designed. They actually made Twitter, the software that runs it, off a lot of products, right? There's a lot of one-off standalone companies that have bought and integrated it in like a puzzle, right? And he said that a lot of those links between those different programs are very precarious. Like it's not like one software that was developed like Microsoft that all sort of works together, and it's all these very, very precarious pieces of this software that are running, and they require a lot of people to keep this thing going. And he said those people have all gone. So the cookie's going to crumble pretty quick.
I guarantee you he's one of the people that got fired.
Well, I'm sure, but it was an interesting article. So if you are interested in the topic, that's a good article for you. Ray, this is exactly what you were saying. YouTube Music and Premium gained 30 million subscribers this year. For those of you, and I always like to mention this because some people, I still get asked, what is YouTube Premium? And one of the things that when you have your YouTube account and you're watching YouTube, the first thing you notice, there's a lot of advertising, right? Like it's like, I don't notice that because I've had YouTube Premium for years, but YouTube Premium is, I don't know, is it $12 a month?
$12 a month, yes.
Or $12 a month, and you pay $12 a month, and you get rid of all the ads. Well, not all the ads, 99%, but if there's an in-ad sponsorship that the person is doing within YouTube, you sometimes can have those type of ads, but all those YouTube ads that you see all go away.
You've noticed, but those in-video ads seem to have increased tremendously.
Yes, they have. But 30 million subscribers, not bad, eh?
No, and for all that YouTube offers, I mean, I've talked about it before. I watch a lot of it for the music videos that I'm interested in. But if I miss a news story on TV one night, I know I'll be able to catch it the next day on YouTube. I mean, it's just a wonderful resource. Well worth $12 a month because I hate commercials.
I do too, and that was the most disappointing part about the music was when I went up and played my the music that I usually have on my service. Is it was just full of ads, right? So it didn't.
$12 times 30 million
a
month is a lot of money.
Yeah. Do you have a calculator, Huey? Can you do that on your fingers and toes? It is.
Probably 36 billion.
Yeah. Now, and then the other, of course, the other big news story, of course, was of course the big layoffs at Facebook or Meta, and I guess they're losing so much money now. Like I guess the problem I have is I'm not interested in Meta, and what your views on Facebook, everyone has their own view on it, but I'm not interested in that. I just want it to run, and so I'm just not interested. And nobody is interested, and that's the problem. And so, big layoffs at Facebook.
And
well, so many of their ads are
scams too.
Pardon me?
So many of their ads are scams.
Yeah. Plus, their software. The other thing when they brought out Meta was they changed their Facebook software, and it is very complicated to use now. You're switching between Meta and Facebook. It's really hard. So. Anyway, big changes there. This is interesting. This was an article. Did you guys see this? This is an article that came out. Most Americans still charge their phones 2 or more times a day. OnePlus announced today the results of a consumer study. This study captured responses from 1,000 U.S. customers who purchased cell phones $600 or more over the past 12 years. And they found that they found that users were charging their handsets multiple times per day. 43% are frustrated with how long it takes for their phone's battery to charge. 69% had to charge their devices at least twice a day. Interesting. You can read the article, but it is a big problem. I guess for people out doing business on their phone. And as we'll talk about if we get to the next article, is it's just how many people now are using their phone for their business and restaurants and all sorts of things, and they can't get a whole day's life out of their phone. I guess really pretty interesting, I thought. So now, Bob, this is interesting. Did you know this? Bob knows everything, but this was did you guys know this? Now, I didn't know this. If you knew this and out there in the audience and you're listening, I want you to comment on this. How to record a phone conversation with an Android phone. Now, the answer to that is you can't. And in fact, there is specific software on your Android phone that prevents you from doing that. And this listed some workarounds for you, but I did not know that. Did you know? You probably knew that, eh?
Yep.
I know
Privacy concerns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife's business, where she writes people's life stories, a lot of them are phone conversations, and she wanted a way to record those conversations to look back for the notes instead of taking handwritten notes. And that's when I learned you couldn't do it. So we bought a tiny tape recorder, the digital one, and that connects through the phone, and that's how we record it now.
And that's a good use for another phone, right? Like if you had an extra phone and you're sitting around and you, for that reason, right, and you wanted to record, you could have another phone and use it as a recorder. Yep. Or you can use Google Voice. Google Voice will, Huey, you mentioned that earlier.
The benefit of using a digital recorder, though, is it becomes the conversation is then saved as a file, an MP3 file. So therefore, you have a lot more flexibility with it than just listening again.
Yeah, that I never knew that. And I was reading the article this morning. I said, I'll be darned. There you go. I learned something today. Huey, did we have other people? Any other comments out there?
Let me go back up here a little bit. Kathleen?
My neighbor just got back from a vacation in Italy. She wore a mask and is fully vaccinated. She got COVID on the plane back, and for me, was abroad only once in Paris some 50 years ago. All right.
Yeah, and then she followed that up.
My one visit to Paris was on my honeymoon. I was his third wife. The third time was not a charm.
Very good, Kathleen.
Very good.
Remember that a COVID shot doesn't prevent getting COVID. It lessens its effect.
The severity.
Richard says, I wouldn't pay for that if I can't choose an artist or song.
Yeah, he's referring to Amazon Music.
Mm-hmm. Dick Vogel, I have never had to deal with dementia. You will have to keep me updated in how you have been able to deal with it. Geek Wireless, why would an ex-twit engineer alert a
future hack?
Don't know. Interesting. It was an interesting article. We got like numbers 8, 14, 15, 19, and 20.
Don't know what that means.
All of us following how many people have liked us on Facebook.
Yeah, like we're up to 20 likes. That's good. You hit those likes.
The one you skipped is one to get rid of, please.
Okay. Yeah. Said they laid off 11,000 on Facebook. Geek Wireless, I have a OnePlus, comes with 1030 watt charger. I do not cell phone.
You broke up.
Okay.
It was good. We could read it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's go on. 5 billion phones will be thrown away in 2022. Bob, you did a great video a while ago on what to do with old phones, or was that an article you published on our?
No, it was a video.
It was a video, yeah.
Yep.
What to do with old phones, and please don't throw them out. Put them in recycling, or use them. They've got some great purposes, eh?
Actually, the video was on repurposing old technology.
Mhm.
Phone,
Excellent.
of course, being one of them.
Yeah. Now, oh, this was did you guys see this article came out this morning? This is a hoot. Um, now we're over COVID or well, whatever, and we're getting back in. People are starting to make phone calls, right? So a tip now this is very interesting. It was written by a guy and said, so blah blah blah. We are offered connection. Instead of hello, you often get wait, hello, can you hear me? Okay, hold on. Okay, just a second. I have to get my earphones to connect. Damn it. Okay, never mind. I'll just hold it up on my head. Hi, sorry about that. As connections to speakers via CarPlay, AutoPlay, your earbuds, you're often getting through your watch now. So he talked about the first minute of a regular phone conversation often is a disaster because people are trying to get connected. And I laughed on this. I thought it was so funny. And that's true, right? I mean, you're often listening through your watch or you've got earphone, you're connecting something and so the first minute is always this weird conversation.
Very apropos.
It says the first minute of every phone call now is torture. That was a great article. If you want some funny read,
we can relate.
Yeah. Now the other one that this morning, of course, we haven't talked about the Pixel Watch, and the Pixel Watch has been out now for I guess about a month, and lots of reviews. I mean, there's 3 or 4 reviews a day coming in on it, and this is an article that compares, of course, the Pixel Watch to the Galaxy 5 watch, and so 3 things that it does better and 3 things they don't like about it. So it's just another article, and I thought it was sort of interesting. It's a well-written article and compares it. My personal thoughts: I did not buy the Pixel Watch, and largely because it's twice the price in Canada. It's $500 versus the Fitbit Sense 2 is $250. It's pretty much double the price. So it's expensive, and I just haven't seemed to want to fork out $500 for the Pixel Watch. But I think that it's fine. I think that it's an okay watch if you have lots of money. Huey, this is an article. Did you see this one that came out? This is actually, I wanted to mention this for our Chromebook session. We need to put this in our Chromebook session.
It's already in the Chromebook Facebook.
Is it? Okay, great. Because Luma Fusion is, of course, a video editing software, and it's pretty cool. And it's been around for those of you who use Apple devices. Probably have used it on your in the Apple world quite a bit, and it's now available on your Chrome OS. You can use this on your Chromebook. Now, Bob, what do you use on your Chromebook for?
Screencast-O-Matic.
Screencast-O-Matic. Bob uses Screencast-O-Matic, which is excellent. It works very well. This is not a free version. This Screencast-O-Matic is. Is that right, Bob?
Well, Screencast-O-Matic has 2 versions, free and paid.
But the pay is not very
But the free version will do everything that you can do with paid.
Right. And Luma Fusion, the beta is selling for $19.99, but that's only a third of what it normally will cost once it's released. It's going to be $60. But
I don't use this. I use, of course, Camtasia, and I use that all day long. But I think this is a very high-end video editing software that if you are a YouTuber, Hugh and I often get asked this question because people want to take their Chromebook to the next level, and they want to use, and they have some special requirements, like maybe they do a lot of YouTube video editing, and they say, can we use this with our Chromebook? And so I think this will be actually for the right type of person. I think this is a really good option, don't you?
Yeah, for the person who decided to replace a PC or a Mac with a Chromebook, now they can do video editing.
Right.
Well,
Right.
they could before, and this
Yeah,
thing
but
here, this program is a pretty sophisticated editing
Right.
program.
Right.
So
yeah.
if you're willing to do that extra curve to get video editing done, that's fine.
Yeah, it's a good
The
option.
reason
So,
the reason that I like Screencast-O-Matic is because it's simple to use.
oh, now this is the one. This is the article. This is cool. Vale, where are you? I hope Vale's listening. This is really cool. And this also goes to the article about the person who was asking to have more M1 or M2 discussion. This is very interesting. This is an adapter that's being made by a company called Pluggable. Now, I use Pluggable's one of their docking devices.
Yeah, I
in
do
my
as
house.
well.
Yeah, Pluggable makes a lot of really good equipment, and they have just brought this out. And what this is a new USB to HDMI adapter for the M1 and M2 Macs. And this will allow you to put up to 4 additional monitors onto your Mac. Now, I don't use Macs, but there is a limitation in that I think you can only use 2 monitors or 1 monitor with an M1 Mac. It's not possible to use multiple monitors. And this has just come out. This is a brand new article, and they've just released this device, and it's going to allow you to put up to four monitors on a Mac, which is huge. Like people have been clamoring for this for a very long time, and I was wondering if we have any comments out there of people. I don't use Mac, but I think this would be pretty darn cool. Anyway, it's made by Pluggable, and if you're interested, it's the USB adapter claims to quadruple M2 and M1 Mac monitor support.
I would say that a lot of our visitors and a lot of our audience do not use multiple monitors, but I would say those who do love it, and the more you can have, the better. Before I moved where I'm living now, I had a lot of space. I had a big, huge U-shaped desk, and I had three big monitors, and I loved it. And I only have 2 now, and I find it somewhat limiting.
Yeah, well, once you use multiple monitors, it's hard to go back just to the single one.
It's tough. Yeah, so I was sort of excited about that this morning. I thought that is Pluggable really nailed it on that one. Jim says, I use 2 monitors on my Mac Mini M1. So would you use 3 with this, Jim? Is that something would be, do you see this as being interesting? I know that there's lots of, I know Jim has lots of different monitors anyway. Any comments out there? Hugh, have we got any, we're getting close to our wind up time here. Have you got any? I had 3 monitors when I used a PC, but you see, Jim, with this device, with the pluggable adapter, you could now use 3 monitors on your Mac, right? JJ says old phones make great webcams. We often use them for extra webcams for our computer meeting. Exactly. That's right. Yes. They're also great GPSs, compasses you can take out traveling if you got kids. That all works.
You can use it like an MP3 player too.
Absolutely. Yep.
Camera.
Yeah. Lots of options. The other one that I wanted to mention, of course, Google has started processing the refunds for Stadia. Now, we don't talk a lot about gaming, but as you know, Google has canceled the Stadia program, and they're refunding all the money. So if you've bought any adapters, programs, software, they're starting to process the refunds. So be sure and get your refunds in so that you're going to get some money back.
Did you notice how many articles of mine you've gotten to?
No, I didn't see.
That's
any.
because I posted one yesterday.
Bob, you just but
Bob, you got to learn how to play the game.
You got to learn how to play the game. You lose, you're late, you lose. But Bob, you were one of the first people to talk about the new Gmail interface, and you even did some videos on the new interface, and you quite liked it. Well, the old interface is going away, so you're going to get stuck with it whether you like it or not, eh?
Liked it from day one, still like it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let me just I'm going to stop our share here, because you know what? An hour's gone by.
Hour.
An hour has gone by. Lots of good articles, though. Lots of interesting stuff, eh? Yeah, lots of things happened this past week. I want to thank everyone for coming.
Let me make a correction. Lots of good things happened just in one day, because we never got to yesterday.
All
if
right.
you got to yesterday, you would have seen the article I posted.
Yeah.
You didn't make it.
we can do those next week, Bob. We'll put them.
No,
we'll play 'em.
it's not important. I'm just pointing out that there's so much news to cover that 1 hour only covers a part of one day.
Yeah. So Jim says, good show, guys. Thank you. And don't forget, Jim, Geeks on Tour. They have, of course, the Button Show on Sunday, my favorite Sunday show, except when Huey's on with his Win Sig, and then I have to split my allegiance between the two. But anyway, be sure and watch Geeks on Tour on Sunday. That would be great.
And Ron, right after the WinSig is the main meeting of the Central Florida Computer Society, and we have a special guest presenter this week, and that's Ray Baxter.
Who might that be?
Never heard of him.
What's he going to talk on? Music?
How did you guess? Well, that's just a wild guess, Ron. Wow, very impressive.
Well, okay. We got to be sure and watch that for sure.
Yeah, and that's the same sign in as the WinSig. So
you just stay on the show. Then.
Just
You
stay
just stay
on.
on, and it just keeps going. Okay, perfect. Well, congratulations, Ray. Good. I'm sure you'll. Are you going to play some great music?
No, I tend not to anymore because of all the copyright problems.
Oh,
Most
right.
of the clubs I present to like to post them on YouTube, and I don't want them getting in trouble. So
right. Okay. All right.
One final comment from Geeks on Tour. Whoops.
Blame Chris for that.
No.
Sunday at 2 this week live. Thanks, Jim.
Right.
Yep. Thanks anyway. So anyway, we got to leave. We will see everyone back in a week's time. Don't forget our Monday show. We got lots of good stuff coming up this Monday, and all sorts of lots of happening. So
right, the WinSig, the CFCS meeting, and Geeks on Tour, all on Sunday
before the show on Monday. So no one's going to be. I don't know what to do. You're going to have lots of activity to do. So stay tuned to us. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone for coming. We'll see you in a week's time.
Bye, everybody.